All right, y'all. Hey, 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 y'all. It's your girl, London B, okay? And I am a rapper, guys. I don't really like saying rapper, though. I got to reverse that. You know, I'm a creator, okay? I'm infinite. So it was way before me, but I'm a creator. I'm really big on creating things. Um, and I'm a great master at it. So I do music. I'm next up. Look for it. Find out. It's going to be crazy. And I'm excited to be here. Yeah, let's get straight into it. I like a natural conversation. No, like legit, it's been crazy. Like people run up to you and they have this sense of, oh my God, but when they grab you, they choke you. And it's like, hey, like I don't want to die. So it's like real cute, but it's just like you don't expect it because, again, doing a show, you didn't really expect to be as big per se. At least myself, let me speak for myself. I didn't expect it to be like crazy like that. I didn't expect to get that emotional connection with people. I didn't expect to get, I was just being me. I was growing through my own testimonies. I was growing as an artist. I wasn't really trying to impress too much, of others more so than myself. I was competing with myself. So when you get out of competing with yourself, you still feel regular. And when people run up to me, I feel like it's a moment that I prayed for because it was times where I only had 4 followers, I only have 4 people watching me. So if I got a couple hundred more, I want to keep that same energy. And I'm pretty much a loving person. You run up to me, we gonna laugh, we gonna kiki. Like I ain't into the whole, I mean, I'm bad, but I ain't bougie, so I take it. It is crazy. The traffic's been crazy. Moms have been crazy. Mothers reach out now and they want to cry. Like people call my phone. Like they call my phone. I speak to my fans. They call my phone, like not my phone per se, but the number that I have up there, and I answer and they start screaming in my ear. Like, like the traffic is crazy. It's kind of like unbelievable, but I'm grateful.
Yeah,
I'm grateful.
it's been amazing to witness. Why do you think people are gravitating to you so much out of all the personalities on there? And I should reframe that because it's not really about comparing you to other people on
Right.
the show, but just like, why did they see you and find something that they can relate to and that they can form a bond with?
And just to equal it out, there was bonds made in different ways. And I think the relatability was it was across the board. And the across the board moment was when you have mothers who do give up their dreams and they don't know how to balance them out. You have a lot of mothers who, again, I had my daughter at 17. I didn't have to keep going, but I just didn't want to stop. So naturally, those mothers come out and be like, hey, oh my God, I love you. And then you also have like just young people in general, like that was inspiring. But not only that, men were inspired. It wasn't even like a gender thing. People in general were inspired because when you are showing fight in something, I had moments where I broke down. You could see the fight in me and I'm trying to fight. Like it's not like you don't see the courage. It's not like you don't see the moments where I'm vulnerable. It's not like you don't see the passion. It's not like you don't see the consistency, the authenticity in who I am. So now everybody's growing to know that, like, damn, like, I was doing that at one point. That's who I was at one point. Whether you quit your job, whether they fired you, whether you was homeless at one point, whether you had kids, whether you was just trying to figure out how to make it on your own in any type of way, the relatability was definitely more so, damn, like we see the fight in her, we see the struggle. Everybody can relate to that. We've been struggling for a long time. This ain't nothing new. But just to talk about it in front of millions, that's something new. And then on top of that, I mean, yeah, I look fun. I would like me too. I'd be like, who is that? Like, I stick out like a sore thumb. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I
no,
stick out like a sore thumb, so you gonna see me.
that's huge in this business. You gotta have, not necessarily, but it's nice when you have the talent.
Yeah.
But if you can combine a look and a personality,
Yeah.
that's entertaining with substance,
That's
which
it.
is what I think is special about what you're doing. It's like you can give them crazy hair, but you still got bars.
That's it.
You know.
Because it was funny, like the first time I seen the judges, like everybody kind of looked at me. Like T.I. knew I was going to be great, but it was like, you could be great, but let me see how. So it was always kind of like, what am I getting? Because when you do see something like character, it can easily be crucified as gimmicky, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's like a thin line between, is this you or is this you? And I definitely made sure to let it be known that, yeah, this is me. This has been me for a long time. So I was just waiting for that moment where the world can see who I am. But I'm still a human. I was still going through some real things. I'm hurting. So I got to talk about it. And that's the only way I can get anything done is through the music. Like, it's just something about music. Music drives the soul. It drives millions of people. And if your story is real, people are gonna gravitate to you. You ain't trying to put on no front. You ain't trying to be the dopest. At the time, I wasn't trying to be #1. I was just trying to beat London. Like, I've only been doing music for 3 years. So to be thrown in a situation so early in my career, it was like, you in the playoffs. Like, they didn't give me no time. I couldn't warm up. I'm cold out here. I'm like, not little old me. And they straight to the playoffs. And from there, it was just game time. Every 3 days, game time. Like, literally, we had to do this one day, get the beat, get the challenge. Right the next day, boom, you got to go get out there and perform it the third day. So we didn't have time. We didn't have any of that. So at this point, I'm panicking. I'm like, how you get through this? So you're going to see the fight, because I'm really fighting through it. Like, that I can't make up.
And so a little bit like on your backstory, where are you from? Like, how did you come up?
So growing up, I was like, I had 5 siblings, including myself. So 4 outside of myself. I was the second oldest. So it was my oldest sister, it was me, and then I had 3 younger siblings. Growing up, it was very hard for my mom because none of us, like, our fathers weren't around to teach us how to do anything other than what we saw our mom do. And our mom, she was great at it, she was strong, but when you got 5 kids and you're focused on surviving, you don't really get to pay attention to how your child is developing. So 9 times out of 10, you go either this way or that way. Not that you mean it to happen, but you're just trying to put a roof over their heads. You're just trying to give them clothes, anything. But with my mom, it just seemed like it was definitely an ongoing struggle for us, because from the house being burnt down at 7 to being in the shelter at 8, you know, not really having a stable place to stay, because it's really just trying to find your way around New York City. That's where we were at the time, New York City. And my mom, she had 5 of us, so she's not running outside for this one, she running outside for this one, and it just was vice versa. It was just like that. So growing up in a position where I didn't have the tools, I always felt like I had to go get them. But I didn't always go get them the right way either. Like, I would just go out there trying to do anything that I can do. At first, if it's about money, all right, cool, we're going to figure out how we can do that. I'm skipping school. I'm bad. I was bad. My mom was, my mom, like, I wasn't the best. I wasn't the best one growing up. Like, if I wasn't skipping school, I was fighting. If I wasn't fighting, I was running from the cops. I was doing whatever. Like, I was addicted to it. It was like adrenaline. I'm like, it was fun to me. That was my type of fun. It sounds weird, but in New York, we all share the same fun. They still doing it, I'm sure. Like, that's just it. That's the vibes. So just even in the midst of that, my father also got incarcerated since I was 2. So that was like a hard pill for me to swallow, because I had to go through life trying to figure out who am I? Who am I supposed to be? Like, I'm a little girl. I need my daddy. So when he wasn't there for the most important things in my life, that really shaped me differently. It gave me a different mental. But it's not that he wasn't there. It's not that he wasn't there mentally. He wasn't there physically. So I couldn't touch him, but I talked to him. He never missed a birthday. He never missed a holiday. Like, my father was a great father. He was just behind bars. So it was nothing I can do about it, but I was so angry about it. For so many years, I was so angry, but you block it off. You block it off because you almost feel like you don't deserve to be mad. You don't feel like, you don't even have time to be mad. Like, you too busy doing all the other extra stuff, you don't have time to be mad. So out of 5 siblings, we also played a big part in raising them too. That's where the mothering came in. All this came in early. Everything came in early. Between struggling, surviving, came in early. Being unconfident came in early. I mean, I'm young. You're not really finding the pretty things. I was a tomboy. I wasn't trying to find the pretty things in life. I was trying to run around here. I was trying to, play with the dirt with the boys. I was always with the boys. That was my thing. I have 2 younger brothers, and I love them. I'm with them. That's just it. That's all I know is family. Outside anything other than that, we didn't really have like a big support system. So really, when I got into like my teenage years, I needed to find something to do. So when I got to 12, I had like a little talent show, and I started singing. That was like my first talent show. I sung Monica. My mom was out there. It was really, really cute. But I kept picking it up and dropping it because I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted to do. By the time we got to 16, I started writing it again. But at the time, I wasn't supported. I didn't get the support. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I'm like, damn, if I pick it up again, am I going to be successful? Are they going to support me? Am I, like, how I'm going to be out here looking? On top of that, again, around that time, it was really hard for female rap. Like, female rap didn't come up until now. So the MCs that we did see back then, we were grateful to have them, but we thought the door was so narrow for us.
You got like 1.
Yo, you only have 1.
Be grateful, you have Lil Kim.
Yeah, be grateful, you got like Eve, like, or be grateful, you got Remy, but it was like a split second thing.
Meanwhile, we got like 70 dudes with the same
We got
dreads
70 dudes
saying the same thing.
Saying the same thing, and nobody's like, hey, we heard that before. They big it up. It's great. You my homie. I'm messing with it. So with the women I grew up watching the ones that were around the dominant side of music. My first MC that I seen was Eve on the TV show, because I'm a little young, so I was like at the end of Kim, but I didn't understand Kim eras to the completest. Like, you got Notorious B.I.G. and we seen them, but we didn't understand the legendary moments until we got older and we started to get into it. But right in that, I seen Eve, I seen Remy Ma with Terror Squad, I seen, you know, Eve with Rough Riders, you know, Kim, Junior Mafia. Like, I mean, this was an ongoing thing for us. So now when we get to the point, I mean, even Nicki with Young Money, Cash Money, like, these are people that when you see it, it's like, I gotta be like that, because something about it made it more respectful. Like, I felt like if I was gonna do it, I need that respect. But I was trying to figure out, again, it's so narrow. We only see it once. Should I pick up the pen? Should I drop it? What am I gonna do? Because in this very moment, I'm not seeing it consistent enough, so I picked up other activities to be consistent in. It really wasn't the right way, wasn't the wrong way. But I got pregnant at 17, and that just changed my whole life. I feel like when you got a child, you gotta figure out what you're gonna do. And just finding out that it was a girl really shaped me differently, because now I really can't show her the sacrifices that I had to make, or even just the sacrifices my mom makes. My mom made. I just really wanted her to be happy and live different. I didn't want her to struggle. I didn't want her to feel like she had to sacrifice anything. I wanted her to be comfortable. I ain't never want her to sleep on the floor. I ain't never want her to sleep in the car. I ain't never want her to run behind anything less than who she is. Like, I really had to do a 360 to the point I had to look from the inside and find out what type of woman I'ma be. And that's hard when you don't even know. Like, you 17, you ain't even a woman. Like, yo, like, come on, I just got breasts. Like, are you kidding me? Like, why are we doing this? So now, in this very moment, life just hit me really, really fast. Hit me really, really fast. And then that's when my mom left. I stayed with my mom when I got pregnant. After she left, that was it. It was really, life hit me even harder. Because even just trying to pursue that environment, it just didn't work after a while. Just never worked after a while. So New York kind of pushed me out of it, because I couldn't do it anymore. I'm just tired, I couldn't do it. I was struggling, I couldn't do it. So when I left, I went to North Carolina. When I went to North Carolina, my grandparents, lit. My grandparents got me together, okay? I showed up to their doorstep with a bag, holy pants. I mean, it was a mess. Like, I showed up looking like I've been through some things. My grandma opened the door, she like, you hungry? Look, you hungry? Okay. I'm like 60 pounds, you hungry? I'm like, hell yeah, grandma, I'm hungry. Like, what, I ain't ate in days, I'm hungry. Like, I'm hungry. It was real, and I don't know how many, I know you hear the glitz and the glamour about women, but I think we go through things too. The reality is we go through things too. So I wanna highlight those things. It wasn't always pretty for me. It wasn't always pretty for me, so I like to go back and tell exactly how ugly it was so you can appreciate why I'm here. That's the reality. So showing up with my grandma bags, she asked me, was I hungry? I sure did, I took that food. And that was it. She got me a job. She told me to go back to school. She did everything. Like, she made sure she pushed that ticket that I was gonna be successful. I got my first car with her, everything. I got there for about 2 years. My grandfather is like my father. It wasn't nothing my grandfather wouldn't do for me. I love my grandfather to pieces. So when I showed up on her doorstep, I'm thinking, all right, cool. We just gonna ride this out. We gonna see what it is. My grandfather used to drive me to work every morning. Legit, I got the phone call, 4:30. They told me he was in the hospital. We go up to the hospital. He ain't there. He not breathing. He ain't right. He not okay. Crush me. That, again, I don't have no father. Crush me. I ain't got no dad. You can't take that from me. Like, you can't take that from me. It was definitely really, really hard to deal with that. Wow. That was my father. So when that happened, I'm just like, yo, I'm scared now. I'm running. Again, I don't want to do it. I'm running. Run to Atlanta, okay? I'm running wherever I can go, because at this, I can't do it. I'm not really good at it. Not good at it. Ran to Atlanta. I'm lost. I'm 20. I happened to meet my wife. My wife, she came. She met me when I was homeless. She came. When I left, she was like, you want to go back home? And I'm like, well, should I? You know, I don't know. You going to let me rock? And she was like, well, you can stay with me. But mind you, we went to go stay with her friend in like a 2-bedroom like townhouse. It wasn't like it was a whole bunch of rooms. So we were living out of a room. And she was like, well, I'll take you and the baby. And I'm like, well, baby is a lie. I ain't got no money. I ain't got no job. Like, how you gonna work that out? And she said, don't worry about it. She's like, I got you. So Samaya came down. We ran to Atlanta, or we moved to Atlanta. Samaya came down, and we stayed out that 1-bedroom until we moved into a house. And that was the next best step. So the support started there when it came to music, because at that point, now I realized I'm secure. I ain't got to worry about bouncing from here to here. I say that to say this. I'm bouncing around. Yeah. I don't have no place to stay. It's not secure no more. I don't feel the security. I don't feel great. And when I got to Atlanta and I started to feel that security, because financially she definitely supported me in a way where I didn't have to worry about these things, to the point where I can focus on rapping now. So the things that I was going through within those 2 years, 2.5 years, I put it in my music now. Because I don't know no other way to release it. It's either that or I ain't gonna heal. And I'm trying to heal. Like, I don't wanna be broken forever. So how I talk about my dad, how I talk about my grandfather, how I talk about my daughter, how I talk about how it hurt me. Like, I gotta do something because I don't wanna wear that on me. Started doing music. And even then, like, financially, I made some turns for whatever that might have been as far as in survival. I've danced before. That was definitely something that I talked about on the show. And just to reiterate that, that was a survival move. It wasn't something I wanted to live in. And it's not that it shouldn't be glorified, because it's still a job. I don't care how you cut the cake. Stripping is no different from a guy selling weed on a corner. It's a hustle. You really can't take nothing from it. So it gotta be glorified in a way of somebody else surviving. And if that's the glory they could give men by being a drug dealer, we can glorify strippers for stripping. It's the same amount of income. They doing the same thing. They trying to survive too.
They have so much sympathy for the drug dealers, even though they're killing the community, and it's like,
it's okay.
You know,
it's okay.
It's a lot of bias out there. I'm glad you're calling it out, but I think when people see human perspectives, like from you, they can understand that, you know, trying to survive.
That's it. It's the same survival, because even in the dance world, it's not easy. It's not easy. Like, you literally, it's like 200 women in there. It's like kill or be killed. It's Hunger Games. I was already programmed to it, but it's such a different world that it has to be appreciated, because there's no other way to appreciate it. Because if we don't appreciate it, it's going to forever feel like that. And I don't think being a woman in it, we shouldn't feel like that.
Like, you don't want those women in it to always feel bad about themselves for trying to survive.
Trying to survive, because we're not getting the same dialogue when we're in that lifestyle trying to survive. The dialogue is different. Yeah. You know, it's a different dialogue from a woman that you might see working in a corporate building and be like, hey, you know, oh, she's great. Oh, yeah, she's real smart. Like, she's good at what she do. But it's just like, why is the dialogue changing? Why a stripper can't be good at what she do too? It's still income. And you gonna spend your money how you spend your money, right? So overall, and you gonna make your money how you make your money. It shouldn't be a divider. That's been my biggest thing, so I'm very open about it, because I ain't looking at it like that. So again, I gotta put it in my music. I gotta talk about it, because I gotta be respected. And this ain't no fairy tale, so I wanna make sure that what I'm saying is authentic and true to me. I can't speak for nobody else. I can't tell nobody else's story, but I can tell mine. That's it. I'm gonna feed you what I know. So even from going to that, it was unstable. Because again, I don't have time to write, studio time. I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to balance everything out between dancing. You dance at a late night. I'm trying to go perform at the club. Then the next day, I'm sleeping. I ain't even seeing my daughter, because by the time I wake up, I got to go back to the club. We got to work like this. My wife was like, stop, what do you want to do? I said, do I got to pick? She was like, yeah, because you ain't balancing. You're not doing both, but this ain't helping you either. Like, if it's money, let's go another route with it. Let's be more smart about it. But we got to figure out what is going to really center you and keep you in good spirits. You're still a mom. And that's the reality of it. These girls are strippers, but they're still mothers. These somebody's sisters. Like, these girls got real stories too. Been through a lot. So it should just all be appreciated, because there's sympathy for things that men been through. We got to have that same sympathy for everybody, because it's bigger than that. It's a cultural thing. We got to push it forward the right way. And if we're dividing it, we can't push it forward. And that's just the reality. So going from that, start doing music. Started doing music consistently. I started performing for a year straight. I went and performed in the most holiest, dirtiest, pissiest clubs. I was everywhere. My first performance outfit was a bathing suit and some shorts and a bandana with some boots. I don't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm gonna post that video one day so people can see it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to do something. My first record was Go Off. My first record was Go Off. I was so mad.
What year was this?
This year was, what was this, 2000 and, I don't want to say 12, but I do want to say 12, maybe 2013, 2014, 2014, I produced my first record, Go Off, did it, but it was towards the end of the year, so I want to say 2014, 2015, because Go Off came within that year. The beginning of that year, I stopped stripping in November. And I said, I ain't going back to the club, then what I'm going to do? I had to find another way to make money now. I'm a hustler, so I'm like, I bet. Beginning of the year, I'm hitting every club. Every weekend, I'm on it. Every weekend, I'm on it. I'm everywhere. Go Off was great, not only because it's authentic and it's different. It wasn't really a club song. They didn't pop in the clubs. So when they hear it, they're more entertained by me performing it. Because again, I look like this. They're like, what is that? Who is that? Not even who is that first. It's just, what is that? So they look at me like, what is that? So now as I'm performing, I'm going crazy. I'm shaking my head. I'm talking to the crowd. I'm in their face. I'm damn near I'm down there picking their pockets. Like, listen, like, I'm not that I'm stealing from them, y'all. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm that close. I'm personable. I'm letting you know this is what I've been through. I'm leaving my heart on every stage I go to, whether it was a pissy club, whether nobody was in there. I went to an arena, I had to perform in front of 6 people. Shit was hurtful. I'm like, damn, nobody like me? Like, damn, nobody want to play my record? Like, shit, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm trying to do everything from freestyling on the internet. I freestyled for years on the internet. Then I started doing challenges, and I got a lot of great, shout out to Nicki, shout out to Cardi, shout out to Casanova. You know, these people definitely played a big part of my career, because when I do a challenge, they've shared it. They've shared it. Like, they've been involved in that way, and these are just people that are just on that level already. So when I started seeing that attention, I'm like, all right, maybe I'm getting somewhere, but I still wasn't quite close. Social media, half the battle. You still got to be personable. Went out there and did it. We did Atlanta Pride. Atlanta Pride was the last show I did. Mind you, I thought the show, I didn't even know what to think about the show. Last show I did, the next day, Ruben hit me up and he let me know. He said, hey, I got an opportunity for you. I said, what? He said, well, it's a show in LA and you'll probably be flying out, but I want to send you over the information. They called me for Rhythm and Flow. And I said, yeah, all right. Like 2 months after the show, after the performance, they called me. I'm like, all right, we can do it. Legit, there was no more dialogue until like a month later. They called me, I'm sitting on my couch, and they're like, hey, so we need you to fly out to LA. Like that, but that was like after the auditions, because now you do the auditions within those 2 months, and it's still like, all right, you still know what's going on. It's like a month later. Like, I'm just sitting on my couch. I'm not thinking they even like me.
I was about to say, you probably spent that whole month like...
Yeah. I'm like, damn, did they like me? Like, what's going on? But they don't give you like a warning. And this is why I got to say, you got to be prepared for everything. You really just got to go out here. And I got to explain it like this, because the reality is, they didn't pick the top 4. Top 4 just had to be prepared. Like, that's just it. They didn't pick the top 4. So now I get to call on my couch, and they call me, and they're like, hey, we just need you to fly out to LA. Now, I knew they liked me, but I'm like, when? Tomorrow. I ain't got no suitcase. I said, you kidding me? Tomorrow? They was like, yeah. I was like, oh, fuck, what do you do? I said, yo, I don't have no suitcase. I was like, yeah, I got to wash my clothes. I'm like, I got like a few hours. My flight was at 6 o'clock. They called me like, what, 10, 10:30, 11? Everything closed. I'm like, yo, what are we going to do? My wife's sitting on the couch now. She's trying to be a thug, but she's looking at me, a little 10-eye. You got to leave the mind. You got to leave the mind. Like, yo, she's sick. And then my daughter, she over there, she like, Mommy, don't go. I'm like, oh, are y'all doing this to me right now? I'm trying to be a star for you guys. What are y'all doing? Like, yo, it was the prep talk of a lifetime. My daughter was not having it. She held my leg as I'm trying to wash my clothes all around the house. I'm like, Maya, I got you. I'll be back in a month. It was hard. It was hard. I'm a family person. It was hard. We never thought it would pay off, though. We're still thinking that we're investing in a certain way. It was 3 people. Me, my wife, and my daughter. It was 3 people. At first, it was just 3 people. And we went without the lights. We went without car insurance. Our car got took in like 3 to 4 times without paying a car note. We couldn't afford it because we're spending money on performances, platforms, how I get my music out here. We're going broke as a collective. Like, I'm literally sacrificing, how do we still do this and still do for Samaya? Because she a bill too. She need everything up front. Kids don't wait on nothing. They need everything up front. They a job. They need everything up front. And we can't tell her no. And we're doing it off of 1 check. And my wife, you know, she worked at Junior Achievements, but even then, like, that shit when you drive after a while, it's not adding up. Nothing's adding up because everything we spending, we're not bringing in. It's dry.
It's a dream. Like,
it's a dream. Like, legit, to the point where you're selling yourself the reality that I hope I make it. There's no guarantee on that. So when I got that call, I have to make it happen. I'm like, no, this is all I got. I meant that. I cried because I meant that. Like, this is all I got. If I go home with nothing, I've done nothing. I've done nothing. So that was...
Do you feel like you hit a point where you were ready to give up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was fighting. Like, it's like, okay, boom. I've been doing music for 3 years, but it's like I was still growing and developing as an artist, and they threw me in the playoffs. Because I didn't even know I was running with the best of them. I'm thinking, this is how I feel. You know, a couple of people be watching me. They trying to copy me. Maybe they're part of Monopoly. Like, I'm rapping. That's it. And I'm talking to my family. I'm talking to myself. I'm not thinking nothing of it. So once they flew us out to LA, things really got real. Every challenge was always like, there's a possibility you can go home. And it's not like you're the best in the room. There's like 60 people that are great. Millions that are great. Millions that tried out. So you be thinking, damn, why me? Why little old me? Like, I'm over here just trying to do what I do. And you got these great person over here, this great person over here, why me? Every challenge I asked myself, why me? To the point where it got to the point, my season finale, I couldn't ask no more. between the performance before that and the Teyana Taylor one, and me just consuming all that passion and that love and what I'm trying to portray, because it was such a beautiful picture. I can paint it, but I'm just like, it was so real, it hit my heart too fast. And I'm like, man, I'm really crying. These are real tears. I'm hurting. I'm hurting right now, like, and I'm fighting through it, but I'm hurting, so I'm writing through it. And you get arrested for fighting nowadays, so I'm gonna write through it. Like, I'm writing through it. And you can't make things like that up. You can't act like you're passionate about something. You really gotta do it. And when it's all you got, you'll give it everything you got. Which means if I gotta cry in front of millions of people because that's how it made me feel, and regardless of even just the feedback, at some points where I felt like I was breaking down, it was more so me being honest to myself. If I didn't cry, I'd be telling you a lie. This is my life. This is real. If I didn't cry, I'd be lying to you. So now just to deal with my emotions like that in that way was just, it was different. But I ain't.
Not only are you coming from struggling, but now you're like in front of cameras. Not like you just in the studio with somebody and say, okay, we're gonna make an album. It's like, no, you're on the biggest platform. So like, what was that adjustment like?
The adjustment was never even adjusted. It was just like how can I explain it? Boom, going from your regular day life, ain't nobody watching you, you can pick a book if you want, can't nobody see it, I'm good. And you go from everything being recorded to the point where it's just like, yo, what do you say, what do you not say? On top of that, it's like an adrenaline rush that you can't even measure. Because in this very moment, it makes it even more pressure because now you feel like other people are watching you as far as in staff and production. Then you got Cardi B, Chance, and T.I. watching you. Then you got contestants in here watching you. Like, every day was a day where everybody's being watched. But we also watch the liberty of the room get smaller. So when that started to happen, I'm like, yo, I'm talking about from the first time. What was the first challenge? First challenge was the cypher. Watch people go home, but it was still a lot of people. The battle rounds sent half of everybody home. That was the biggest shock for me. That was the biggest shock because it went from 16 people to 8. Oh, nah, we really got to tighten up around here. They don't really care. And as far as in Chance, Cardi, and T.I., like, not only are you in the playoffs, but I think the comforting part was you're getting molded through the playoffs. The feedback was constructive. I don't have nothing to say about that. And to be honest with you, I think they gave me the most feedback ever that I've ever even had in my career as far as in doing it. Again, I wasn't perfect, but I ain't know what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to do it. So any type of feedback I was appreciative of. T.I. always made sure he watched the performance and made sure it was factual. He always made sure that his critiques, you can go back there, and I never responded back to them. Ever, because I was always listening. So when T.I. be like, hey, that was cool, but your approach, A, B, and C, because this is what I'm used to, and this is what I know you can give, and this is just where you're at with it. I said, all right, cool. Cardi, she loved me. It wasn't an issue. It was one of those things where she's a woman, I'm a woman, I see you, sis, come up. Like, that's it. You just gonna have to come out here and do your thing. And Chance, he was also dope with it because he always felt like, not only do you have a different look, but I'm happy it's not gimmicky. I'm happy it's you. I was hoping it was you. So now you get that talk, you get that free range and freedom to be able to talk to them on and off cameras. It wasn't just an on-camera thing. So if you had any questions, you can talk to them. Like, they weren't unapproachable, they weren't funny, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you get some feedback and you're like, where I'm gonna go, like, where can I go from that? It was constructive, but on top of that, it was pressure because sitting in front of 3 people that you would have never thought you would even meet at that time, it was crazy. Like, we were shitting bricks. Sorry. Can I curse?
So where did the final episodes come out yet?
The
it's
final. Yeah, no, they came out. But listen, y'all gotta watch them. Where's y'all watch game at?
It's the last. I've watched everything up until the last episode.
The last episode is the money. What?
So I was about to ask, like, where does things end up? Like, how did your experience end out there?
My experience on the show ends out great, marvelous. Like, I don't think that. This is a show where nobody loses. This is a show where nobody loses. So overall, like, even though, yes, there is one winner that does get the money, but nobody loses. The season finale, you can see where nobody loses. It's almost like a show you'll probably never get again. Nobody loses, but I can't spoil the fruit. You guys have to just go watch it and develop your own opinions, because I'm sure the world has many.
We kind of started off talking about, like, what life has been like now, and I know you got people recognizing you and stuff. Must feel good.
Yes.
Like, after being in a club with 6 people now, to walk down the street and have people say, hey, that's London B.
Crazy.
Like, what I guess, like, what happens from here? What type of stuff has been happening even outside of like the fame that comes with Netflix? Like creatively, how are you inspired now? You know, where do you want to take it as far as your music is concerned now that you have a platform?
Music wise, I'm like at an all-time high because once I knew that my story can be told, I ran with that. Now I could talk. I could talk like for real, like now I could talk. I got something to say. But on top of that, even outside of music, Reset is out now. My project is out now. Super great. Reset is called Reset because it's the restart. It's the reassurance. It's no longer feeling like I'm unworthy. It's no longer feeling like I don't have anything to say. It's no longer feeling like that lane isn't open for me. So the show definitely opened that lane for me. Shout out to Rhythm and Flow. They opened that lane for me to be able to, you know, speak my piece, and now it's open and Reset is out now. Just getting into more of what happens on the show and what happens in my personal life. So Reset is a dope project. You guys go check it out. And outside of that, I'm getting into fashion. I definitely want to get into fashion because I also want to be able not only to own my look, but to be able to create it as well from a visionary standpoint. I'm a visionary. So overall, like even this was created from a visionary. Kite's collection, she came in, she get me together because I can't put it together. But I get the vision, she execute. We going into clothes now. I'm going into tattoos. I got a lot of tattoos. My vision is so much bigger. Like I'm going into all this good stuff, and these are like my main three that I'm really, really liking right now. So I got a lot of stuff coming up for those things.
So what is your day-to-day like? Because you know I had a kind of vision of it because you're talking about working these jobs and or I'm here and I gotta go there. So now what do you do every day?
Now everything, like literally I get up and we have like a schedule every day. So if it's not like an interview, if it's not like making music, if it's not like shooting a video, if it's not like going out, networking, things like that, like my day-to-day is busy. So when I get up in the morning, drop my daughter off at school, get ready for my day, probably from like 12 to 2:30, she get off. I probably chill with her for about an hour or two for help her do her homework, feed her, and till my wife get off. When she get home, we back on the road, gotta figure out, we're meeting up with lawyers, we're doing this, we're doing that. So it has to be kind of measured out as the day goes on, so I still had that time to be a mom, but it's even more of an overload now, because it's just like, man, like, it's here. When you got a moment, you gotta ride it till the wheels fall off, else you lose it.
Yeah.
So
when you have the momentum,
that's
like
it.
You gotta maintain it.
That's it, and that's all.
So, you know, some people, they're not ready for it and they get burnt out, but do you welcome it all? Even if it's crazy and you're exhausted, you're like, I prayed for this.
I have to. God ain't gonna put too much on you could bear. I had to. If I prayed for it, I need to show up for my blessing, else I shouldn't have asked for it. And it ain't no guarantee you're gonna get it again if you don't show up. So overall, that's my gratitude. That's how I think about it. When I show up, that's how I show I'm grateful. And I will continue to receive more based off of how many things I show up for. Because if I'm asking for it and I don't show up, I don't think that's equivalent to him giving it. So, and I'm really grateful, like for real, like I'm probably like the first one in my family to ever do something this big. Like it's not a line of people here, like it's really just me. So it's a lot of weight on me, but I'm taking it like a soldier because there's so much more to do. We can't stop here. But Rhythm and Flow definitely Rhythm and Flow highlighted and definitely kickstarted my career on a major platform. I will forever be grateful for it. So who I am 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, I always come back to this moment. I'm humble.
100%. And have people, like, are all types of people hitting you up, or are you hearing from people?
Yes,
like,
from different countries. Yeah. It's on Netflix. You're in 190 countries, 120 languages.
But the fan side and like the business or the other,
all of them,
are like, you know,
fan side and the business side. Had an Asian company reach out as well. Like these people, they see it, and to be honest, even on the other side of things, yes, you got the U.S., but when you go over there, it's just like I always want to travel. I ain't been out of Brooklyn, Atlanta, and North Carolina. What? Take me over there, okay? Like I want to have some fun, so everybody's reaching out. Whatever business that they do, there's no specific country that's reaching out. They come from Paris, London, Africa, Nigeria. They're so great. Like everybody is sharing the love right now, and that's just what makes it the cultural thing. We got to push it forward, not just in our zones, but even get out our zones and make sure we're pushing it forward. Because the reality is, if you don't resonate with somebody, you're gonna resonate with somebody else. Everybody had a different story to tell. And even with my brothers, I'm very close to them. Troy, I'm close to him. Smoke, I'm close to him. Flawless, I'm close to him. We're really, really close. So even just being on the show and having to build that bond outside of ourselves, oh yeah, we got a reputation to maintain, and if we ain't successful, the show ain't successful. So we definitely want to make sure that we pay our dues to them.